Christian Jones here, CEO of TaxProMarketer. I've got my colleague Noah Jenks with me here. Noah, how am I sounding? You got my audio?
Hey, we're coming in loud and clear. Good to be here, Christian.
Let's go. Hey, good to be with you guys. We've got a fun topic today that we wanted to go live and talk about, and it's only one type of client that we serve that we want to speak to today, but it's something a lot of our clients handle for their clientele, for their area, for people that need help. And it's the tax resolution specialist space, the EA space, those dealing with tax debts, resolving stuff with the IRS. There's a lot of it, right? And so we're in a moment in time where I think from the macroeconomic perspective of the world, people are having a harder and harder time paying their credit card bills. We're post-tax season now. How many people didn't file on time, didn't file an extension, or are just afraid and they're getting letters from the IRS now that were, well past the deadline? There's a lot. If you're in this space, you know there's more than enough people to keep you busy, but not many of you maybe know how to get in front of them from a digital standpoint. So we want to kind of go over today the digital dominance method that we have for our tax resolution specialists, our EAs, people that deal with tax debt. We want to talk about that and just say, hey, this is what's working for our audience and something that I think you guys could step towards. And as we approach, the back half of 2026, you want to put yourself in a position, if this is the space you're in, if you do tax resolution work, if you're helping people with that as a service, this is the way to kind of go forward, especially digitally. So first, kind of like setting the table, there's obviously some very large tax resolution groups, the national groups, and you don't have to compete with them. I don't think you should. You don't have to compete with the large, we'll leave them unnamed, but national chains. You can get a lot of amazing leads from your backyard and dominate locally. And so we're going to talk about kind of the marketing funnel here, and it starts with step one. The top of the marketing funnel for any business, but definitely if you're in the tax resolution space, is when someone has a tax debt and they get online, are you visible? Yes or no? Can they find your website? Can they find your Google page? And so we're going to show you some data. We're going to show you some real leads that are coming through for our clients here in a second, and some ads data as well. But you've got to start with, do you have a website that shows up? And is there a next step that someone can take? Is there a next step that someone can take in order to tell you what they need help with, right? And so that's something I'm going to try and show you a little bit of here momentarily. I'm going to leave this website, hopefully mostly anonymous. I'm just going to show you one part of a client's website that we've got. This is the first thing that a lead is going to see. So first of all, the website shows up well on Google. That's step one. But the next step is we've got to ask the right questions. So do you have a bankruptcy problem, a tax debt problem, student loan problem? Are you facing back taxes or a lien or some tax-related issue? Do you have unfiled returns? People want your help. And most of the time, a website doesn't rank. But then secondly, it doesn't ask the right questions to prompt a conversation, right? Like that's something that you need to do. These people are scared, right? We all know that people dealing with the tax debt are not sleeping well. They're nervous. They're worried most of the time, right? And you just need to make it easy for them to say, how do you need help? How do you need help? How can I help? So step one with the tax resolution space is I want to be visible to them. And that's a product of how you build your website on the back end, the front end, the content, the way you structure it with Google. And it's a product of your Google business page, getting reviews, getting found, showing up. Those are really relevant things. But at the top of the funnel, once you get visible, the next step is, hey, how can I help you? What do you need assistance with? And most of the time, I feel like tax resolution specialists, if they rank at all, which most of the time they don't rank. The next step is, well, I need to actually figure out a way to get someone to talk to me, and it's just a contact form. How many of you, just being honest, have just a contact form on your Contact Us page that's just occupying space that hardly anyone uses? It's less relational. It's more clunky. You don't want to make it hard for people to tell you what they need help with. You want to make it easy. You want to make it streamlined and simple so that this lead and their information gets in your hopper and you can go and serve them. You offer a huge value. This is a wonderful service. It's a great thing. Like, this is one of my favorite types of clients to work with, simply because, getting people massively resolved, or resolved on their massive debt is so rewarding. But we've got to, from a marketing perspective, know what their pain is. If you can't speak to the pain that your leads have, you're just going to miss the mark. Like, they're not going to get it as easily, right? They're not going to understand that you're the right person to solve it for them, and they're going to go to someone else. So you want to speak to pain. And let's just roll over here a little bit. Drowning in debt. We are your judgment-free path to a fresh start. And then we ask these questions, right? So these questions change client to client, but people fill this stuff out. Like, this is a real example of a site that people will fill out. They'll totally fill this out and ask you for your help and tell you all of their kind of dark, hairy secrets. Like, that's a thing, but it starts with your website. So if you're a tax resolution specialist and you want to get leads, it starts with your website. Does it get found? And does it start a conversation? Noah, advertising is a big part of this too. Let's take a look at ads and talk about ads. And I think you might have a screen share to pull up. Let's kind of take a peek at that and see what ads do for the space.
And so that's the thing with all of this, Christian, is at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is bring in good leads. There's not one way, we say this all the time, Christian, there's not one way to bring in 100 leads. There should be 100 ways to bring in one lead. And so if you're doing different things, if you're doing things like, cold mailers, and that's big in the tax resolution space. You just have to understand that's cold generation. You're showing up in front of people who don't know you. They don't trust you. They have no reason to say, I should actually call this person out. The benefit of ranking in a Google search, an AI search, different things like that is you have a live person on the other side of a screen searching IO back taxes, IRS tax lien letter, tax resolution, going to ChatGPT and saying, I got a letter from the IRS and it says X, Y, and Z, or maybe they take a screenshot and upload that into ChatGPT. They say, what am I supposed to do? That's going to be really common. And if you don't rank in those searches, they're going to go somewhere else. But I could say with a fair amount of certainty, if they have a high leverage tax problem, they're not going to figure it out on their own. They're not going to try to do that. They are going to go to a specialist. And so if you're not that specialist, especially in your market, they're going to probably go to someone else, because a lot of this is still locally based. So a lot of what Christian's talking about with websites, that falls under our marketing bucket. Okay, so with marketing is all about ranking. It's all about getting visibility. It's getting seen. But we all know SEO, marketing, everybody kind of comes to us at a different stage in the journey. And marketing it can take some time to actually get visible. Advertising, ads is pay to play. Ads, we can target the location, we can target the keywords, the timing, we build out the landing page. Like, we have so much control over what's going on in an ads campaign that we can then produce really high quality results. That this is a client, and you'll see up here, this is live data. May 4th to May, this is the data from May. 7 leads in just the last 28 days. Average cost per lead, $86. And what's crazy is, I can't tell you what everyone's pricing is, but Christian, I would say for most of the firms we work with, there's usually a minimum retainer of at least a couple $1,000.
Well,
just to say like, I'll look at this.
Yeah.
But this lead costs less than $90.
Right.
And there's 7 of them. I mean, it's kind of fun when we can pull this back. Let's just pull this back a couple of months, Christian. Let's look at it at 1 year. One more. Let's look at 1 year that we've brought this client 33 leads. Average. And so, you're going to see these numbers go up and down throughout the course of the year, but even still, average $170 cost per conversion, that's nothing. That's nothing for tax resolution. And even if they closed 50% of these, I mean, that's 16, 17 tax resolution cases. That's huge.
Right.
Most firms can't handle more than that.
Well, it depends on the firm, but honestly, these leads could be, as people well know, hundreds of thousands of dollars in, back taxes to resolve, 5 years of unfiled returns. And this is just one client that, again, is not even spending that much. I mean, just
Yeah.
5K over a year. 5K
Well, and
over a
this is,
year to get 33 people that are all juicy leads.
and that's over an entire year. Here's another client. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
just so you know, and you know, we want to protect our clients and their data, but just so you know, these are large markets. Okay, like these are good sized markets these clients are in. Here's another one. This client, you'll see this goes back to May 4th, but down here you'll see this only goes to May 12th. Well, that's because their ads went live on May 12th.
Yeah,
So this isn't even an entire month's worth of data, and this client
right,
already has 6 conversions in about 3 weeks. That's six
right,
people reaching out and saying, "I have a problem.
right.
I Googled this problem. You showed
Mm-hmm.
up and you had the best Google reviews and your ads showed up and they clicked on it. And these are 6 hot leads that this client has to deal with. We have other clients that do even more. Whoops, that's for the full year. So I don't want to harp too much on this, Christian, but I
No,
do
it's
want people
good.
to understand that people are searching for this. And the reason they're searching for it is because they're scared and they need someone to solve their problem. And that problem is not going to go away. And they
Right,
will go to someone to solve that problem. And so if you
right.
want that to be you, well, then you should show up.
Yeah. Hey, let's show people what this really looks like. So when I'm just doing a random search here, tax resolution specialist Dallas. Here's where you can show up for your leads, right? So you've got up here at the top, these are called local service ads, right? So that's one option. These are now pay-per-click ads. These are sponsored results. So again, you can see sponsored results. This is an ad. This is an ad. Here's the AI overview. This is new, right? Wouldn't you like to rank here? Wouldn't you like, Google's Gemini, kind of their answer engine optimization, this AEO bit to make you one of the top options? All right, that's more social proof. And then you come down and we have the traditional Google business profile. And here's the thing, man, if you're in Dallas right now, the top people, I'm in Kansas City searching outside the market in, but 2 of the top groups have 11 reviews and 3 reviews. And then you have irsprob.com. I'm guessing that's maybe a larger chain, maybe not. Maybe it is a local group, but they've got 187 reviews. And here's another LSA. And now here's the organic links. So again, like these people down in Dallas, man, they're doing really well because they're ranking, but this isn't like someone that you, let's say, like couldn't outrank. So if this is you, or this is you, IRS Tax Resolution or Tax Resolution Group LLC, Dallas, Texas, you're vulnerable. You're on page 1, but who's probably cleaning up? IRS Prob. And so you guys get happy clients. And they do want to tell the world how great you are. You solved one of the biggest problems they've probably ever faced, right? A scary letter from the IRS and you owe X money and penalties and interest and all the things, right? And yet people don't think to invest in their marketing to get here. Well, let me take a different angle, right? So this is a Google search page. This is how your leads are looking at you in your market. They're looking at you in your market from here. And if they don't see you, that's what we have to solve for first, whether it's your website or your ad. We want to do both. We can do LSAs, we can do PPC, but this is like, I'm doing a direct search for like, I owe the IRS money, professional Houston. Let's see what happens, right? So again, like I'm going to get websites that show up in AEO. Like let's build you to show up here. And let's build an ad campaign to show up here. These guys are investing in this because it works. It works. But once you do that and you show up, remember I kind of showed you guys this example of a site. So they're on your site or they're on their ads landing page and they're saying, what do you need help with? And how much do you owe? And blah, 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 blah. Here's some examples. Just in the last couple of months, from a couple of clients, I just wanted to show you some examples of actual leads that are coming through. Just a couple of examples. So this is, again, I'm going to hide anything sensitive here. This is just going to be timestamp. Are you facing a tax debt issue? Yes. Do you have unfiled years of returns? Yes, or I don't know. Do you currently have any back taxes? Yes or no. If so, how much? So this is just in May. 4 leads in May for this one guy. 180K, 8K, 7,500, 27,000. Go back to April. Here's a few more. 400K, another 400K, 10K. So those are 8, if I'm not mistaken. Is that 8, Noah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 leads in the last month where you've got, I mean, is this approaching $1 million of unfiled returns that are coming in because he's visible online, he shows up, and he can help people. So these are, again, just real life examples of, here's another one, people that are asking for your help, right? So here's, the forms for our clients are a little bit different. Tell me more about, signing up for accounting help or income tax strategy or tax resolution help. And then, hey, if you do owe the IRS back taxes, right? Yes, no, not sure, rather not say, how much? So this is a different client. 30K, 15K, $250,000, 10K with fees, 9K. And all of these, even smaller ones, they include, obviously, the years that are unfiled and the cleanup work. And a lot of these times people owe business tax as well. And, what do you need the most help with right now? Like personal taxes, my first year filing, resolving a tax debt issue, assistance with filing my personal taxes, filing. This is normal. This is normal. Americans need help with resolving taxes. And if that's your space and you aren't investing in your digital marketing and you're not running ads and you don't have a pre-qualification system, you're just leaving money on the table. You're leaving money on the table. And it's silly because, again, it's out there. So you've got to spend money to make money, okay? You do need to spend money to make money. And if you're spending money rightly, as an EA or a tax resolution specialist, or if you're a CPA and you help with this stuff too, whatever it is you're doing, I just want to say that your marketing dollars should be producing a pretty predictable result, right? Marketing is volatile. Sometimes it's up, algorithm changes, you got to adjust. But by and large, what we're finding for our tax resolution oriented folk is that year in and year out, month in and month out, they are predictably getting amazing lead flow and phone calls from people that really need their help. Some people will fill out the form, some people just want to call you, right? So we're not even looking at their Google business profile results. Maybe we can pull some of that up while we're talking, Noah, and just take a peek at what does it look like from a lead flow perspective, I should say a Google business profile perspective. I'll try and pull some of that up now. But man, it's just incredible. I mean, it's incredible the people you can serve when you get this stuff dialed in. Here, I'll share this one right here. This is one of the firms that's oriented towards tax relief, tax resolution, and this is January to June. 172 calls to their business profile, and what they focus on is, again, tax resolution. So here's another way to get leads. Your website, form submissions, phone calls, people that just engage with you online, Facebook or otherwise. When you build the ecosystem well, there's an abundance of opportunity. And that's just something we want to speak to today for the tax resolution crowd. So we'll keep it short today, Noah. Just a little teaser, just a little tax resolution case study review. If you have questions, man, go to taxproleads.com or taxpromarketer.com. Go to our site. Let's get a strategy call and let's chop this up with you guys if you're curious on a more one-to-one setting. If you want to look at more data, tell us your problem. We are great with tax resolution specialists. That's one of the things we really emphasize and specialize in. We didn't even talk about emails today, Noah, but I guess let's do emails next time. What else, Noah? Any other final thoughts?
No, I think that there's so much we could riff on this, Christian, because there's just so much search to be had. And that's and the number one reason people don't get new clients is you just don't show up. You don't rank. You don't exist in the right places. So you start pulling a few of those levers, and it's pretty radical how quickly things can kind of turn around for a firm. So yeah, it's free to talk. Even if we could just offer some advice, but if we can help, we would love to.
Perfect. Noah, thanks again for joining. Guys, thanks for popping on. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day.